Welcome back to The Witch Hut. Witches of Myth and Legend, Episode 3, The Bell Witch. While the Bell Witch is categorized more as a spirit rather than an actual witch, the circumstances surrounding the designation merits a place here in this series. The Bell Witch is a legendary entity from American folklore, centered around a series of supernatural events said to have occurred in the early 19th century in Addams, Tennessee. The story primarily revolves around the Bell family, particularly John Bell, and their experiences with a spirit or witch. The legend is one of the most famous ghost stories in the United States and has inspired numerous adaptations in literature, film, and popular culture. The story begins around 1817 when John Bell, a farmer, and his family started experiencing strange phenomena on their farm. The disturbances began with odd noises, such as knocking on walls, chains dragging, and unexplained animal sounds. Over time, these escalated to physical attacks and other paranormal activity. The Bell Witch, as the entity came to be known, was said to be an intelligent and malevolent spirit. It could speak, mimic voices, and even engage in coherent conversation. It identified itself as Kate on occasion and claimed to have a grudge against John Bell for reasons that were never entirely clear. Kate seemed particularly hostile toward John Bell and his daughter, Betsy Bell. Attacks on John Bell, the entity harassed and tormented John Bell relentlessly, leading to his eventual death in 1820, and the spirit reportedly claimed responsibility for his demise, calling it a form of vengeance. Betsy Bell's torment, the entity focused a great deal of attention on Betsy, causing physical harm, and discouraging her engagement to a local man named Joshua Gardner. Community involvement, the legend grew as neighbors, friends, and even skeptics came to witness the phenomena. Among the visitors was General Andrew Jackson, who reportedly had his own frightening encounter with the entity. After John Bell's death, the activity subsided, though the entity reportedly promised to return. According to legend, it did reappear briefly in 1828, but its presence was less impactful. The Bell Witch legend has been the subject of much speculation and debate. Possible explanations include poltergeist activity, hoax, and folklore. Some believe the events could be attributed to a form of poltergeist activity linked to psychological stress within the family, while skeptics suggest the story may have been a hoax perpetuated by family members or neighbors. Many see it as a folk tale that evolved over time, blending local superstition with exaggeration. The Bell Witch legend has left a lasting mark on Tennessee folklore and American ghost stories. The Bell Witch Cave, located on the original Bell property, is a popular tourist attraction, and the story continues to inspire interest in paranormal phenomena. But why was she called a witch? The entity was called a witch largely because of the era's cultural and religious context, which often attributed unexplained or malevolent phenomena to witchcraft or supernatural forces. Cultural superstitions in the early 19th century, rural communities like Addams, Tennessee, were steeped in folklore and superstitions. The idea of witches as malevolent beings who could curse, harm, or manipulate events was common. Any inexplicable or harmful event was often attributed to witchcraft, making it a natural label for the phenomena. Self-identification. At one point, the entity reportedly identified itself as Kate, and some accounts say it was referred to as Kate Batts Witch. She claimed she was a witch conjured by Kate Batts, a woman who lived nearby with her invalid husband, rumored to be eccentric and possibly involved in witchcraft. This association may have reinforced the use of the term witch, according to historical records. John Bell Sr. was convicted of usury, lending money at unreasonably high interest rates, in a slave deal with Mr. Batts, Kate, the spirit, repeatedly expressed her hatred for John Bell Sr., physically abused him, and threatened to kill him. Human-like intelligence, the Bell Witch demonstrated intelligence, the ability to communicate, and a clear vendetta, which were traits often associated with witches in folklore. It wasn't just a mindless or chaotic spirit, but one with a purpose and a personality, aligning with the concept of a witch as a cunning and willful being. Religious interpretation. In a deeply religious society, the idea of a witch was often tied to notions of evil or demonic forces. The Bell Witch's torment of John Bell and his family could have been interpreted as the work of a diabolical agent, fitting the archetype of a witch empowered by dark forces. Convenient label. The term witch was a convenient catch-all for the mysterious and the malevolent. It was a way to describe the entity's inexplicable abilities, such as its speech, physical interactions, and apparent supernatural power, in a way that made sense to people of the time. While the entity's exact nature remains a mystery, the use of witch reflects the blend of fear, superstition, and cultural narratives of the early 19th century. It helped frame the story in a way that was both familiar and sensational for those who heard it. The Bell Witch story, whether viewed as folklore, a supernatural occurrence, or a psychological phenomenon, offers several insights and conclusions that can be drawn from its enduring appeal and the elements of the tale itself. Whether the Bell Witch was a supernatural entity, a psychological phenomenon, or a fabricated tale, it remains a valuable piece of cultural heritage. It offers insights into human behavior, societal fears, and the power of shared narratives, leaving us to reflect on how we process and perpetuate the unexplained. Regardless of its factual basis, the story appeals to a universal love of mystery, suspense, and the unknown. Its evolution into modern media shows how such stories adapt to remain engaging. Thank you for watching. If you are enjoying my contents, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel.